All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Universal Open Rocket League Grand Finals here at the Esports Arena in Santa Ana, California. We're about to move into our second of the losers bracket quarterfinal matches, which will be oh so interesting. And we are here, obviously, at this beautiful venue, the Esports Arena, founded by Tyler Endress and Paul Ward. These were two college roommates that decided that they wanted to establish something that could really rally the community around gaming and esports. So they established this venue here in Santa Ana. They are, of course, expanding across the country as well. So glad to see some dedicated spaces to esports, and with over 350 machines, a lot of stuff here to do. Well, right now, we're going to go ahead and hand things over to Alex, who actually has some thoughts for our friends down in Texas.
Yeah, some somber news over in Texas that I'm sure a lot of people are aware of right now. Hurricane Harvey making a run down there, and my dad and my stepmom were supposed to be here, but they're in Houston. So I have a lot of family in Houston and friends, so I want to wish well wishes and prayers to all of you in Houston, all of you in Texas affected by Hurricane Harvey. And I would urge anyone to do what you can to help. If it's from home, I'm sure there's a lot of places you can look to actually help out with recovery of that area. But I just want to say on behalf of everyone here in the esports arena and everyone in production that we are thinking of everyone in Texas right now as the hurricane is making landfall. Back to you, Kevin.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. We appreciate that. And, of course, thoughts and prayers with everyone down in Texas right now. But we are, of course, moving into our next match here for Rocket League. And Quinn and Corelli are joining me back on the desk again. So let's break down these matches and talk a little bit about this because, well, there's too many European teams left. I mean, just come on, straight up. We invited 4. There's 4 left. We're finally going to eliminate one here, but they've been so freaking good this entire time. What do you think about this match, Quinn?
This match is actually going to be an awesome match because there's so much history between these two teams. We've seen these guys play against each other in RLCS and in the top line 3v3 tournament. We've seen them in the RLC Pro League, which is another tournament where actually we saw MockIT edge out FlipSid. These guys have back and forth history, and both teams, I mean, I talked with earlier this morning, and he straight up told me the first team I want to play is FlipSid. He thinks that Marky is struggling right now, and he thinks that he can capitalize on that. And we did see a little bit of those struggles in the match before, so there might be something there, but with the experience that Kux and Marky have playing against them, I'm sure we're going to see a great match out of us.
All right. Well, there's not just pride on the line, of course, and a trophy, winning that on TV. No, there's money involved, too. $100,000 on the line, $32,500 going to first place. But even all the teams that have been eliminated, if you made it here to Santa Ana, you walked away with something, with everyone even claiming $2,000 if they finished in 16th place. So a bunch of money on the line, a bunch of pride on the line here, and the title of the first major 2v2 champions, but we still have yet to crown that champion. So, Crowley, I'm going to go over to you for your thoughts now on this upcoming match. FlipSid versus MockIT. Again, as Quinn said, this is a storied matchup. These guys have been here forever, but both teams have been undergoing some inconsistencies lately, but inconsistencies that may not hurt them in 2v2 because it's been third members and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and especially when you talk about FlipSid, they've had some troubles here. You go back to the Cloud9 game, and even if their previous match, they've struggled a little bit, but it's kind of the FlipSid way to struggle in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they open up. Marky and Kux have been here before. They're world champions. But on the other side, we have grand finalists as well. Both of these players have gone to a grand final in the RLCS, so a ton of experience on stage right now.
Yeah, and this is going to be for elimination as well, which is, as we mentioned, the first European team going to walk home here. Quinn, I'm just going to ask you, given the strength of the European teams that we've seen coming into this, are these the two teams that you thought would be fighting each other for elimination first?
You know, FlipSid and the losers bracket, that's almost like a staple. It's like it's not a good Rocket League tournament unless FlipSid are in your losers bracket. So I didn't actually expect them to go all the way, even though I expect them to go very far in the tournament. I did expect them to drop to losers. MockIT, however, they've actually been kind of struggling as of late, just in general, finding their identity. I think that Pashy is a great player, and I think that Fairy Peak as well, they'll be able to do this, but seeing them drop into losers bracket didn't surprise me so much.
Fair enough. And Rocket League is, of course, an international game. There are a lot of countries that are represented with the players here. A lot of our teams came from North America, so 20 players from the United States and 4 from Canada, but you guys can see a bunch of other countries have been represented. And obviously, this is a game that is continuing to expand, sees much more representation from competitive play in other regions as well. So I would expect future iterations of this would see a lot more international involvement as well. But let's talk a little bit about the skill disparity that we've seen between the two regions here, because it's a bit of a meme. We talked about it coming into this a little bit, but it's been pretty evident, right? I mean, is this what we can just chalk up to maybe NA teams playing with random teammates, not taking it quite as seriously, and they're just getting stomped by dedicated teammates? Like, what is it that's creating this disparity?
Well, I guess in the 2v2 world, it's tough because there hasn't been too many 2v2 tournaments, so it's really tough to say who's better than what. European, the general rule of thumb is that European players are usually higher quality or better teams. Lately, not so much, 3v3 especially. The gap has been closing, but Europeans generally better than NA.
All right, well, it looks like our game is going to get started right now, so let's throw things up to James Bott and Wavepunk.
Thanks so much, Kevin. We've got quite a match here. This is a rematch of the Season 2 Grand Finals from RLCS. The MockIT versus FlipSid. Storied pass between these two teams, and I can't wait to see how it plays out here in the 2v2 scene. Almost going in there by Cooksir right off the bat. MockIT coming in to create some pressure, and he's going to get an opportunity to put it through. They couldn't get out of the corner. FlipSid scores first.
And look at that, Marky Duda. He's not in the Smacktain anymore. Back in the Smackfire. He's in the Octane.
Smacktain.
The Smacks. I like that. But Marky, I think it was Quinn said it on the desk. Pashy knows that Marky's been struggling. You can tell that by the fact he's changing cards. He's trying to change things around, trying to get something going. And we have a server error right there, but players getting right back into it.
Now, luckily, nobody was nearly anywhere close to the ball, so just going to pauses the game for just a moment. They'll get to continue playing here. Cooksir and Marky up in the corner again. And the last goal went in as MockIT was unable to get a good clear, and Marky was able to punish. This time they're able to get it across halfway, but they're not able to get any further. It's back in their corner again. Cooksir and FACEIT on the wall. Clear out towards Pashy, and he'll move it downfield. Marky should be there. He'll be able to play it over the top of Pashy. Plays up on the wall, and now looking for FACEIT in the middle. Cooksir hangs back in net, watching Pashy. He'll walk up and get the block, but Marky needs to play this one away as well, as FACEIT is lurking down to try and take another shot. And here comes the small ball pressure from MockIT.
And Marky was bumping FACEIT over there, buys him time. Cooks trying to challenge, but he's got no boost to make that play.
Small pass from Pashy to FACEIT. It's a deadly combination yesterday. We'll see if they can do it again here today. Both Marky and Cooksir trapped in their own box. Cooksir gets a 50-50 and Pashy goes for Marky, but he misses and it'll drop down. FACEIT comes back, and that'll give FlipSid ball control. They'll take another shot. The double tap from Marky makes it 2-0.
Quinn, you're going to eat your words. Marky's not struggling whatsoever after switching back to the Octane. He's on fire. Look at that shot, blasting it into the net, past that final defender. And now FlipSid with a 2-goal lead. They were kept in their half for quite some time, but Marky Duda just answering right back.
Marky on the backfire is probably about the longest stint I've ever seen a pro sit on an off-meta car. But they all basically inevitably always go back to one of the three basics of the Octane dominance of Batmobile.
Maybe playing with the backfire is like doing push-ups with a weighted vest on.
Yeah, exactly.
You switch cars, you're just that much better.
Oh, I remember this is easy now.
Take them off, go back to the Octane.
3:08 left on the clock, and it's 2-0 FlipSid. Pashy will move it down the field and leave FACEIT in the back. He's waiting for the long clear to hopefully gain some free ball control. They'll have to play it off the backboard. Cooksir keeps the pressure on. Another touch by FACEIT underneath Cooksir this time, and now he and Pashy right up on top of each other. They'll space out a bit and get the demolition of Marky Duda. FACEIT with Pashy upfield. He'll just rotate back and allow FACEIT to take the free shot. It's blocked out by the respawned Marky. Things will kind of stabilize back to middle. 2:40 left to go. Still 2-0 FlipSid.
And we saw that graphic about an international game here. All players from different countries. Cooks from Italy, Marky Duda from Scotland, Pashy from Germany, and FACEIT from France. This is a true international showcase.
Continental breakfast. Rocket League players here as Cooksir comes off the wall. Marky's back in his own corner, now moves up. Try and set it off the wall. Doesn't get a solid touch and drops down. Marky Duda with an opportunity. He gets it over the top, going to the 50-50. Pashy will move it into the corner. He picks up midfield boost, and he'll move up the challenge as Pashy rotates back. They'll get it past one, a good 50-51, but Cooksir on the backboard clears it away. They have to be able to bait one out and then get the last defender in kind of a split decision situation. Here might be a good opportunity.
Well, what's been happening is MockIT was just stealing all the boost, and we see Cooksir finally break out. That might be a chance, but Pashy did such a great job of snagging each corner boost, keeping FlipSid out of boost and in their own net. That allowed MockIT that continued assault.
Oh, FACEIT slows this one down and gets it underneath Cooksir, but Marky Duda will be able to tackle. Soft touch, gives it back to FACEIT. Now it's just Cooksir again. It's just sitting on the backboard. A shot. Oh my goodness, did he get it away? No! Marky puts hit in. That's an unfortunate situation. The perfect bounce off the crossbar for FACEIT.
Yeah, FACEIT putting that shot in. Cooks needed to get that touch. He used up all his boost to get it. Marky had to get the clear. He was in a position where he might have been able to get it, but he just knocks it into his own net. That FACEIT shot just put too much pressure on him.
I think it was an excellent decision by FACEIT just to shoot outright, especially to put it as close to the crossbar as he did. Because we've seen excellent backboard defense from both Cookser and FACEIT in this game. Cookser's been not missing anything there, and it's been shutting down all the offensive pushes. So to take the shot outright, not put it on the backboard, gets MockIT on the board here, and they're within one. Final minute approaching, though. They're going to have to do it one more time to send us to overtime.
Well, we saw Method do this to FlipSid. They just kept them in their own net, didn't allow them to do anything. MockIT has been able to do that pretty well also, but Marky just got those 2 goals, and that's what's kept FlipSid in this, although they've been fighting tooth and nail to keep these shots out of the net for MockIT.
42 seconds remaining. MockIT down by a 1 in game 1. A nice setup here. FACEIT unable to read it before Cookser gets up to interrupt. Send it over to the corner. Pass Pashy. It's just FACEIT in the back. Marky takes a strong hit that loses ball control. He had Cookser in support, but they still have the lead. Just got to hold on to this. 25 seconds remaining. Cookser just burned time. Nearly able to drop that one through, but a savior medal from FACEIT. So much defense being played here by MockIT. Keeps them within 1. 15 seconds left on this clock. They're only 1 goal away from finish to overtime. It's Cookser on the side. Pashy plays it away. Final countdown. Goes down here in game 1. FACEIT will pick it up. He's got Pashy in support. He goes up as the linebacker, just trying to mess with Cookser, but he'll bump it high. It'll go to the side, and everyone's going to be low on boost. It'll touch the ground, and that's FlipSid Tactics taking game 1.
And on the back of Marky Duda, we identified that he's struggling a little bit, but he came out and scored the first 2 goals for FlipSid. He really did a stellar job out of the gate, but still FlipSid, they looked a little bit tentative, and you can see both of the goals Marky scored unassisted. Every goal in this game unassisted, so you know, both of these teams just feeling each other out.
Yeah, the 7 shots there. Considerable more offensive pressure from FlipSid Tactics, and it pays off here with the win. Good defense on both sides of the game, it felt like. It was that early pressure by Marky Duda. Maybe Pashy not expecting Marky to get the shots that he was hitting there, and then they hunkered it down, but it was already too late as they were only able to get this 1 goal and needed a bit of help there from FlipSid, submitting the confusing play, and FlipSid comes out with the victory.
Yeah, FlipSid, that game is so huge because we're still in the best of 3s. Best of 5 doesn't come out until the upper and lower finals. So FlipSid taking that game, an incredibly close game. They're now just 1 game away from securing their spot in that lower final.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen the players talking about the best of 3s and how they're like, we get frustrated because we don't feel like we get an opportunity to play as much or to play as much, you know, to show how good we are. But I personally, as a caster and as a fan, love the best of 3s because they play the first game, which is entertaining, and then everything's on the line from then out. You have to win 2 straight if you want to move forward here. So game 2. Can MockIT bounce back and send us to game 3, or does FlipSid send them home here in a sweep? Only one way to find out. FACEIT moves it into the corner.
I believe I think the winner of the next series goes to the lower final. So.
Oh, for sure.
So this team, the winner of this, will have to play Sizzle Your Cobb. The winner of that makes it to the lower final.
If they win this one, they do send them home. This is an elimination game. Everything on the line for MockIT.
And we know how good FlipSid is in those elimination situations, but that's not going to help.
What a setup here. Pashy following this one through on the air, back out to FACEIT, and it just happens too fast for FlipSid.
Yeah, Pashy going up on that one. Marky Duda had 0 time to react. He went way too far in net. And when Pashy blasted it off the backboard, FACEIT was ready for it. Now a 1-goal lead, early lead for MockIT.
We saw Gale Force scoring some quick follow-up goals like that earlier. Now MockIT will pull them out here and get the lead early in game 2. Try and hold on to this and send us to game 3. Laser's up. Gets bumped off to the side by FACEIT. And Pashy's alone on the backboard. He takes a soft shot towards the net. FACEIT will just let it bounce off his hood and away. Now the breakaway down the field. Cookser rotated wide. Pashy now looking for Marky. Able to zone him a bit. Can FACEIT get up in time? He might be able to drop this one over, but Marky Duda is there, grounds himself quickly, and gets airborne again to get the defensive play.
And that might sneak in. Marky
Duda!
He
Get it to the side! He must have been out of boost.
Marky Duda was trying to get boost here. You see him cheating out. Pashy just off the wall. Hammers a shot in. Marky narrowly missing out. and didn't get there in time. He was just surprised that Pashy got such a strong shot on net.
The fact that he was still going out for a boost and turning around when the shot was taken, and the fact that the shot was far post, made it just barely impossible for MockIT to get there. And now, we saw 2 goals up by FlipSid in game number 1, and now it's MockIT with a 2-goal lead here. Game number 2.
MockIT did keep FlipSid in their own half quite a bit. It wasn't a convincing win from FlipSid in game 1. So MockIT can take this momentum into game 3 if they close this out. FlipSid, they were struggling against Method, but really everyone struggled against Method.
Method, as you said earlier, only allowing 1 goal so far this tournament. Undefeated here on the tournament stage. Cooks are over the top of the defense. That's FlipSid on the board.
Yeah, FlipSid getting on the board here. Cooks and MockIT both went for that, so that could have been dangerous, but Cooks, he's not going to miss that chance. And now they're within striking distance of MockIT.
Yeah, the thing with 2v2s is if you commit both players, you better score. You're most likely going to get scored on the other side. FlipSid makes it happen there, and won't get punished for that double commit. We'll be at a 1-goal score margin. Can he tie it up immediately? Oh, MockIT puts it in. FACEIT tried his best, but it's not going to happen.
And just like that, we have the equalizer. FACEIT needed to hit that into the corner, accidentally hits it off his own backboard, and MockIT was ready to just jump on that mistake.
3-0-1 in game number 2 left to be played, and we are tied up at 2 apiece. And Cookser can just do this right away. Oh, it just goes off the crossbar. Pashy will be able to block that one away. Very difficult read. You know, you'd think because it's only got really one direction to think about it, it'd be a little bit simpler. Still very hard, very fast play there. Cookser puts this one underneath FACEIT. Oh, MockIT goes for the doink play, but just completely misses it. Pashy will just pick up ball control uncontested onto the backboard, back out to FACEIT, onto the backboard once more. MockIT will play this one to the side. In a difficult situation, we talked about how strong the backboard plays have been from both teams there. But with one in net and one on the backboard, you can't really take the free shot.
Absolutely, but now FlipSid on the counterattack. Had that chance, that demo opened it up. Really, if you think about demos and aggressive play, Pashy was the first player to really make use of that aggressive play at the highest level. He started doing it a little bit, but right now FlipSid has been the aggressor.
Pashy in the corner. FACEIT clears this one. The shot was very tight near post. Pashy gets this one over the top. That's both players up. Can the breakaway play out? Oh, Pashy whiffing that touch breaks up the opportunity. So game FlipSid time to rotate. Can Cookser carry this one all the way down? No, Pashy will play it over the side, but it's still a dangerous position. FACEIT will be able to carry this one away before MockIT can move in to punish. Oh, and he fakes out one. It's just Cookser in the back. Off the backboard. Cookser still grounded. Goes for the bump, but Pashy's all the way in the back. Will not be able to capitalize on that bump.
And Pashy is a very defensive-minded player, so he tends to be a little more conservative. FACEIT had that great pass out, but Pashy, like you said, just too far out of the play.
Pashy now downfield. FACEIT moves into the middle. Cookser, he'll put it back high. And now trying to bait a player in from FlipSid. Neither are taking the bait. They'll move back onto defense. FACEIT gets it over the top of one, but MockIT flying up in the air. Even though he got it past him, he still had to play it over the top of the goal, and there was no shot for Pashy. They'll be able to regain ball control, move this one back out. Final minute of game 2. Remember, game 1 won by FlipSid. If they find a way to do it here in game 2, they knock MockIT out of the tournament.
FlipSid, they're so good in these clutch situations, especially Cooks. He does it!
Good at what he looks like he's carried it over the top. No, he puts it underneath. FlipSid has the lead.
Cooks just using his Batmobile to completely block the exit for FACEIT, and Cooks gets that goal. He's fired up. You know it. Cookser getting FlipSid the lead.
Now MockIT in the same situation they were in the end of game 1, down by 1 with less than a minute left to play, possibly less than a minute left of their tournament lives in the Universal Open. Pashy takes a shot and Cookser clears it to the side. A beautiful clear away. It buys so much time for MockIT to get in behind him and eliminates the follow-up shot. And now he's just slowing this down to the corner. Perfectly fine for him. Doesn't have to do anything other than that. He can just burn time off the clock. But this one right in front of the net. FACEIT, can he turn around in time? Oh, he misses a second whiff. We've seen a critical whiff from MockIT that could have tied up the game. And as the final seconds count down, FlipSid Tactics with so much control right now. FACEIT, it's up to his touch here. What does he do? Plays it down. Pashy's got the linebacker in front of him. He's just got to carry this. The demolition, it goes in. There's 1 second left, and we're tied up.
Pashy, the original demo man, makes it happen, chasing down Cookser, taking him out, and Fairy Peak is going to have that wide open net. We're all tied up with just 1 second left to go.
He played it perfectly. Pashy knew what he needed to do, and we'll see overtime here unless MockIT can pull off a miracle. It'll be Fairy Peak over the top. Overtime for certain here now. In game 2, MockIT needs 1 goal to stay alive in the tournament.
Yes, you said it. This is their life. Golden goal overtime. Whoever scores next takes the game, and FlipSid could move on if they put it through.
Pashy carry this one away. MockIT keeps it in the corner. Turtles fall back, pick up boost. He doesn't like what he sees. He'll look for a better opportunity. FlipSid right now, significantly less pressure in this moment. If they lose here, they still have another game left to play.
Oh, this is scary.
Downfield, off the backboard into the corner. Pashy over to the side as Cookser carries it off the wall. Soft carry, kind of almost just moved himself out of position, but he baits out one, and then Fairy Peak to shoot it to the side.
That's a ground pinch play that Cooks went for, but now on the counterattack, Pashy has some time.
Markey with that 50-50, but still not enough.
Oh, and it pitches back. Oh, Fairy Peak was moving to the side. If he had just sat still for a moment, he would have scored. It was such a difficult read to make.
And FlipSid so used to these high-pressure situations. Will that be the edge for them? Can they close this out? Or will MockIT force the game 3?
Shot towards the net, Fairy Peak downfield. It's just Cookser alone, the 1v2. Pashy gets on the backboard, gets the double tap, and MockIT stays alive.
Pashy's demo kept him alive in the series, and now this goal closes game 2 out. Look at that play from Pashy. What a shot!
MockIT, and Pashy in particular, has been dealing with people asking, is he wearing off? Is he an old man at this point? And he pulls out the double tap over Cookser 97 and says, no, I'm still here to play. Let's go to game 3.
And you can see from the stats right here, the defense coming out from MockIT Esports, 10 saves. And FlipSid, they had the upper hand for the longest time, but MockIT just did not give up.
They stayed alive in this so much, and after getting out to the 2-goal lead, you know they would have been so frustrated to drop this game, not just because it removed them from the tournament, but because it felt like they would have thrown it away. They get up by 2, and then FlipSid fights back. It had to go to overtime.
Yeah, absolutely, and in overtime, usually we see FlipSid thrive, but Pashy, he just stepped up. Cooks and Markey, they did such a good job getting back into the game, but MockIT rather, they must have ice water running through their veins because they were cool as cucumbers.
Yeah, we like to talk about FlipSid and being veteran players. Of the people in this tournament, Pashy might be the other most veteran player on the pitch. He is unfazed by these overtimes. They get the goal. Man, the linebacker play there by Pashy to go in front and block. And then this shot, my gosh, amazing play here at the Universal.
Yeah, Pashy really the MVP of that game. When it came down to the wire, he was the one that stepped up. If MockIT can get this win, then he deserves a huge portion of that credit.
Well, game 3 underway. It all comes down to this one for MockIT and for FlipSid. The next 5 minutes determines who moves on in the Universal Open.
And also this rivalry, as old as Rocket League Esports itself.
Pashy versus Cookser and Markey. It's happened over and over again. You heard Quinn mentioning the RLC Pro League. It was Pashy who sunk the nail in the coffin of FlipSid, took that first international victory away from them. We'll see, can he do it again, or will Markey and Cookser be able to prevail? Markey sends a shot towards the net. It's wide, and Fairy Peak will pick it up off the bounce. Now going for the ceiling play here. He connects with Cookser and drops him down, which opens up space for Pashy. They'll have to move this one out by himself right now. Fairy Peak rotated in behind. He bought enough time. They'll move this one back out. First minute's going to come and go pretty quietly here in game 3.
Yes. Still, both teams just not wanting to make a mistake, but a good passing play. Markey setting up Cooks!
He keeps it glued to the top of the goal, eliminating any chance of a last moment save here. Markey and Cooks are showing off here.
Just a textbook give and go. Cooks to Markey, back to Cooks, and Cooks is so good with his placement, one of the most technically sound players, and he just blasts that one right into the net.
Bringing both players into the middle, make the passing play, and FlipSid's got the lead. They can make it 2 here, but the play from Pashy sends it to the side. Still a threatening ball. MockIT. They will be able to clear it away. Marky fell back for boost, and now FairyPeek with an opportunity to send it towards the net. Cookster will play it high. FairyPeek goes for the boost starve.
Actually tried to slow play that one, get a commitment from that defender. He's feeling confident. You can tell by his play, but now they're down again early in this final game. Whoever wins this one is moving on. The loser eliminated from the Universal Open.
FairyPeek, strong 50-50 win there past Marky Duda. Put it back into the corner. He was trying to set it up for Pashy right in front of the net. This one will wrap high. Pashy has to win this 50-50. There's a breakaway. He does get the 50-50 before being demolished, and it'll be up to FairyPeek here to move up. Pashy spawns in the near corner, actually, and moves into the one position. Marky Duda, FairyPeek. Back pass to Pashy. A 1-goal lead right now for FlipSid might be all they need to continue on to the Universal Open. Pashy going for, I think there was a bit of a screenplay there to set it up for FairyPeek, but he wasn't confident in the ball control, and it ends up back in the blue corner once again. Pashy down the midfield, a big commitment here from MockIT as they are so far up, but Pashy should be able to, no! It goes high, FairyPeek's there again, a loose Cookster won't be able to block it, and that's a tie game.
Pashy almost had that shot. You see there, putting it one just off the crossbar. Cooks didn't get the hit he wanted, got tangled up on the post, and FairyPeek had all day to put that one in. We are all tied up, just half the game left to go.
This is 2 1v1s in a row that I feel like
kickoff.
Pashy has beaten out Cooks here.
Oh, and that might
going
sneak
in.
in.
That sneaks all the way back. FairyPeek just at midfield, brought them both in the middle. It started with that fake kickoff you pointed out, and they're able to put it away very quickly here.
So what Marky tried to do is he tried to pass it into the middle for Cookster, but Cooks, he was going to get the side boost on the side of the wall there, so it left the net completely wide open, and now MockIT just like that take the lead.
They have the 1-goal lead. Can they finish it off here in game 3? Pashy tries to set this one up. Winner up, send it away. FairyPeek into the corner. Marky just behind him. Fisher will try to move up on the rotation. Keeps in the corner, keeps ball control too. Over the top of Pashy, FairyPeek has to play it down the field, but there's no one in the back. As Pashy went up, got midfield boost as well. FairyPeek to pick it up. Pashy shot towards the net. Play it up high. FairyPeek now to the side. 140 remaining here. A 1v1 of Cookster versus Pashy. Cookster will get first touch outright. No, FairyPeek and Pashy get tangled up on the side. Pashy will buy enough time for FairyPeek to get sorted out, but still not a good clear. And Marky will be able to send it back into the corner again. 2 players committed on the offense. Or on the defense, rather. Good bump there by Pashy. Some scrappy Rocket League here at the end of this game. Both teams terrified of making a mistake that knocks them out of the Universal Open.
Really great play there by Marky Duda, though. He dodged the boost to allow Cooks to get it. So very heads-up play, but just 1 minute approaching left on the clock. FlipSid, this is their time. They have to make it happen.
1 minute remaining.
Otherwise, MockIT is going to move on.
Basically at this point, next goal wins. Though both these teams have been able to make the multi-goal comebacks.
Let's go, FlipSid.
Should play this one down. FairyPeek in the air. Pashy right behind him. They'll rotate very tightly in the midfield. Pashy just like a test in the corner. Not going to create much, especially as FairyPeek is so far in the back. He'll clear it away, stop the long shot. But 30 seconds left in this game. FairyPeek and Pashy with a 1-goal lead, trying to make it 2. Can FlipSid tie it up and bring us to overtime once more? We've seen so many overtimes already today. With 15 seconds remaining, back in the middle. FairyPeek sends it away. Cookster just didn't like the position, didn't like what he saw.
He has to retreat for boost as well.
We've seen multiple buzzer beaters already today. Can they do it again? It's going to have to be the full court carry as this one ends up in the orange. Cookster 97 has to pick it up. He keeps it alive, but it'll touch the ground. And MockIT Esports over the top of FlipSid. So many of our favorites being knocked out of this tournament, James Bott.
Yes, you can see it there. In the final game 3, MockIT Esports are the ones to make it happen. It looked like they were down and out in game 2, but heroics
from Pashy kept them alive, and in Game 3, securing their spot, and they knock out FlipSid from the Universal Open.
So much defense defined in this series. You can see again here, very even stats across the board, except for, again, the saves from MockIT Esports. Time and time again, they were able to block the shots that FlipSid was sending to them and then be methodical on the offense, putting it through and getting the victory here.
Yeah, we saw that incredible give-and-go play from FlipSid Tactics, but that was the only thing they were able to do to beat that MockIT defense. MockIT's so well known for their defense, doing it yet again. You see their 5 saves, keeping everything out of the net from FlipSid.
You know, we've had FlipSid now and Cloud9, DapG, so many of the favorites of this tournament being knocked out. But FlipSid goes out in style against MockIT here.
And yeah, now we get another look at that give and go. That seemed like FlipSid was going to take Game 3, playing like that. That was the FlipSid we used to know. You see him getting amped up there, but from that point on, it was all MockIT. That missed hit from Cookster, Fairy Peak taking advantage of it. Pashy doing a great job of generating opportunities. And then we saw that miscue from Marky. He passed it out into the middle when Cooks was retreating for boost. And that mistake, that was the difference that allows MockIT to move on.
Yeah, Pashy able to play so well here, getting the victory over his longtime rivals FlipSid. And I want to hear what he's got to say. Let's go down to Alex.
Oh my God, I love this crowd. Let's give it up for MockIT. What a series there. And the first question I gotta ask, if everyone realized what happened there in that best of 3, these guys were down. They were about to be eliminated from the tournament, and they scored with 1 second left. So they were literally 1 second from being eliminated from the Universal Open, but they stayed alive. Guys, I want to get your immediate reactions from that, especially how you were feeling when you were able to tie it up, push it to overtime, and eventually win the whole match.
Yeah. When I play against FlipSid, especially Cookster, I'm a bit lost in defense because I know he will just shoot where I'm not, and he can shoot at almost every angle, so I was a bit lost in defense. So I'm saying that I will let them just play in attack, and I will go back in, and I will play like a 1v1 or a 2v1 after. So at the last second, I saw Marky, who was rushing me. I let him touch the ball, and we were in a 2v1. I screamed to Pashy, like, go demo him, and he demoed him, so we came from the overtime. Yeah.
I mean, it worked out. Great play there. Pashy, talk me through your emotions there. You, again, a second away from being eliminated. I saw your hand shaking a little bit at the end there.
Yeah, I played super bad, but at least the last second I did something good in Game 2. And yeah, I'm super shaking. Yeah, that's true. My nerves couldn't handle it anymore.
Well, you guys have another matchup coming pretty quickly here. You're going up against Sizzler Your Cobb, which is the last North American tournament. So talk to me real quick about Sizzler Your Cobb and your expectations for that matchup.
We scrimmed them yesterday, and I think we won because they played the best of 7. We won that, but it was still super close. I think we're evenly matched, but I have to step it up that series.
All right, good luck, guys. Give it up one more time for MockIT. They're moving on in the Universal Open to the next round.
All right, let's take a look at the brackets to see where we're at in this tournament so far. So the losers bracket semifinals have been set. It's going to be Sizzler Your Cobb versus MockIT Esports. That will be our last best of 3 of the day. Then we go to best of 5s in the winner and the losers bracket finals, and then finally the best of 7 grand finals. So we have one remaining North American team. We have a MockIT Esports who was finally able to overcome a almost elimination from the entire tournament with 1 second left. As soon as that happened, though, Quinn, you looked at me and you're like, there was a mistake there. Talk to me about that push to overtime and how MockIT was able to come back.
Right. I don't want to put that mistake all on him because the game comes, I mean, it's a team game, right? So all that entire 4 minutes and 59 seconds before that, it was the team's problem.
Sure, sure.
But in the very end, you see Mark, he tried to push to get hit. It was actually an incredible touch. I mean, as far as difficulty, he gets a touch, and that actually pushes the ball off the backboard and lets Fairy Peak get control of it, whereas it was actually a dead ball, more or less, from where they were. It would have been way easier to defend, and instead he opened the chance for overtime. And as we just saw, MockIT took that overtime all the way into a win in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Corelli, I want to get a couple of your thoughts on this as well, because to me, these seemed like very evenly matched teams, though. I mean, we had a couple of mistakes on either side. Pashy saying that he had a little bit of nerves, but I think we're finally at the point of the tournament now where everyone's just about as good as each other. These are going to be good games from here on out.
Yeah, and like I said before the match, these guys are highly experienced players against each other. Just simply between that, they know how each other play. and that we saw how close it was. In the last game, we saw the difference was a botched fake kickoff between the two teams. That was it. That single mistake decided this series.
There you have it. All right, guys. Well, we are going to run to a quick little break, but as soon as we get back, we are going to be here for the Losers Bracket semifinals at the Universal Open Rocket League 2v2 tournament. We can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be Sizzle Your Cobb going up against MockIT Esports right on the other side.